Hello, my crafty friends. I was gonna paint my zine for my project today, and I decided that I might as well do it on a video. You might want to watch and make a file folder zine for yourself. I'm starting out with Tangerine UWYG Media heavy body acrylic paint. That's the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm just going to roll it on with a brayer because I'm all about getting some color on easy as I can. You notice I've marked with tape the back cover and the one that actually sticks out. Those are the ones that are going to get the most wear, so I went ahead and taped those. And oh, fuchsia, let's add some fuchsia. I really like this color. Same kind of paints, just the fuchsia color. Just going to roll it on too. Putting paint down, it's kind of the first step in any mixed media type project. And what else would go good with that? Boy, that blue's really still showing up good. I'm going to need to do something stronger, I guess, there. Let's add a little turquoise. It's similar to what's on here, but at least it will look more purposeful this way. Probably should not have put that right there at that opening. It may not matter at all, but I don't want to glue it down to my paper underneath while I'm doing this. So far these are all the same brand of paints. One of the things I'm trying to do this month in the use what you got is also to use up stuff that I don't use that often. And okay, obviously I need some more fuchsia and then some more orange. Just keep adding color to add more depth. Go ahead and go in with some more orange. Some of the green is still showing through, which is fine. That's one nice thing about these old file folders that are not just manila colored, is that they have their own. Okay, I'm going to roll this way a little bit and kind of let this all meld a little bit together. Got a little bit on the back, but not much. Doesn't really matter because it's not going to be, nobody's going to see it, but I do still have some concerns right here, but I think the other layers will maybe take care of that. And it really probably doesn't matter if the tape shows a little bit. In fact, I could just put some tape in various places around here just for texture. I'll think about that, but right now I'm going to let this dry, and I'll be back when it is. Okay, now it's dry enough to work in, so I decided to fold it up and see what it looked like. And I noticed that you can see the green edges here. Now, because there's some green in here, I guess that's not horrible, but it's not what I want. um, so I've got to decide if I'm going to trim those or how I'm going to deal with that. I thought I could just go ahead and paint the ends, around the edges of the inside, but I think I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I think the next thing I'm going to do is use some big stencils and then work smaller on top of the big ones. And I should have gotten those out already. Okay. Let's start with I'm going to start with this one. It's the biggest image I have. And then I may put some of these on top of that. And then we want to work, or I may use these. That may go on top of the other ones. Anyway, I want to work from bigger to smaller. And then I want to do some stamping and doodling on top of that. So I think we're going to just choose these 3 stencils just so it's easy, and I've already made the choice. Now then I have to figure out what my pages are like. Okay. So this is the top. Well, let me do it again because I'm not sure. See, this is the problem. Once you figure it out, it's not so bad. Okay. I need a Post-it note or something. Let me find one. Maybe I can figure out how to mark these just temporarily. So there's the top, and I'm going to write on it too. That way I'll be sure. And say top, front. And this one will be top, back. And let me just go ahead and put one of these on all of them. And then I'll remove them as I'm stenciling on that part. I don't know if this will work or not. I've never tried to do this like this before. I've only made one zine actually before this. So, okay, this is page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, and then the front and back cover. Okay, now let's see if this will help me out any. Okay, so let's scoop this over here. That way those can okay. Okay, let's do front and back cover first. And so I'm going to move this down a little bit and move that right over there. And I'm going to put this just like this on the front and back cover. Actually, I may do it a little more like that so the front cover looks more obviously the front. Okay. And I think, just for continuity's sake, I'm going to do this with that fuchsia. Same thing that we used before. When I get to the smaller stencils and things, I'll introduce new colors. But for this big, bold one, I think that's what I want to do. Okay, sorry, had to get a paint sponge. I'm not very good at painting and talking at the same time. I'm enjoying the challenge that Aunt Beck gave us to not buy anything new and use up what we've got and do a project every day for the month of August. I kind of added to that challenge for myself to do a little a video of the project, whatever my project is each day. And so we'll see if I can keep up that part. Oh, okay, I think I like that for the cover. I may just go ahead and do the same. The same thing, only maybe I'll use I'll use mix the orange maybe with the red for this one, just to make it a little bit different. I think I'm going to like this. Let's see what we got. Ooh, I like that. You can't see it on the camera as good. Let me hold it up so you can see better. Okay, this is the one that I did just with the fuchsia. And this one I mixed the fuchsia and the orange tangerine. And I like that too. I may be doing it too samey to do this on the inside of each page, but I'm sure I can I'm sure I can change things in other ways as I get further down. This one I'm going to do, I think, mostly the tangerine. Okay, need to get some more of that color. Too much. All right. Ooh. Okay, there's this one. You see there's a lot more tangerine in it. Move those down. And I'm going to need something that'll still kind of mesh with this, but well, maybe I'll just do brighter tangerine. Let's just do that. It'll be less red each time. Sounds like a plan to me. Let me get some more. Okay. So there's that part. I'll stick these back. And now I got to let this dry a little bit, and then we will come back for the next step. Okay, that's pretty dry. Now I'm going to move these down. And I'm going to use this stencil right here so that it pretty much gets on all four of them. And it'll cover the other up a little bit, but that's okay. That's part of it. Some of them it'll cover more than others because the placement of the first stencil wasn't the same in every quadrant or every page or however you want to say it. I've got too much of that paint. Okay. Woo! I like it. Looks good. Now I'm going to move these, and I'm going to work here. If I can figure out how to get that an easy place to work. Okay. Okay, very nice. Put this back up here. Let's turn it around and do this one. As you can see, my need to be symmetrical is showing up, but I'm just going to indulge it. Because with this particular thing, it's pretty easy to do. Okay, I think that looks nice. So there's those two. And I'm going to pause while I think about what to do next. Hey, I just made a decision and talked about it and did it and realized I hadn't clicked the play button again, a record button again. So I decided to go ahead and go around and paint the edges so that those places that were showing, they're still that way, and it's just going to be that way when I tape them down, but they don't glare at you anymore. Now you can, they kind of blend in, so it's not as big a deal to me. So I did that, and now we're gonna work on. Hey, what you need? Yes. I'm gonna use. Well, what to do with it? I'm gonna use some white paint. Oh, this. I'm gonna use this little thing. It was the lid on my art glitter glue. Um, and I'm gonna. Well, I thought I was gonna make circles with it. Um, I think I will, but I just won't maybe make as many as I first thought. I'll just do like that in a few places. Um, just trying to add a little bit of something interesting here. Move that one. Do here. I think I'm liking those on there. Sometimes it's hard to be sure. I have to remember that even though those are right next to each other, they're not going to be, they're on opposite pages. So those will be together. I'm going to go ahead and do 5 there instead of 3. And I'm going to do the same thing here, since those are pages that are together. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do with that. I think I can take these off now because I kind of know what my pages are looking like. Those are just kind of in the way. Okay, now I've got a lot of white paint left. I ought to do something else white. But I think what I really want to do is add some metallic of some kind and some black. So let me figure out what I'm going to do, and I'll be right back. Okay, the circles are dried, and I'm going to use this piece of ribbon with some gold, and then I'm going to use this piece of ribbon. It has tiny, tiny little dots. It's like itty bitty sequin waste. I'm going to use that with black. So let's go ahead and see how this works out. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. I'm just sticking it in kind of randomly. It's not the gold part and the black part. I'm going to try to make it look less planned than the other stuff did. Yeah, it's showing up. It's just not as easy to see. Okay. I think I need to do some of it over the flowers because that's where it shows up the best. And actually, it really doesn't detract from them at all. Could almost go over the whole thing with it and it would not be an issue. Oh, I just stuck my arm on that. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to call that good. I tend to go overboard and then wish I hadn't. Okay, and the black I'm going to use is this folk art sequin black. So it'll be kind of a metallic-y look too. It's kind of hard to tell looking at it in here, but we'll see how it looks once I get it on the... Now this is a little scarier for me. It's not quite as unobtrusive as the gold is, but I like it. Have to be a little less heavy-handed with it. See, that was a little too much. Let me bring that up so you can see how it's a little thick rather than being the dots being individual. They kind of blended together. So that's a little sad, but I have to learn as we go. Let's do a little bit of it on the blue too. See, what I need to do is just use what's on my deal and not keep adding to it, because it's definitely looks better that way. Very, very lightly. Reminds me when I'm watching Dee Dee and she goes shh, 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 when she's putting something on lightly. Shh, 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 shh. It really does help. You ought to try it. Oh. Okay, well, I just sticking it everywhere. Trying to make it look more random. It wasn't looking very random there for a while. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Now we've got I think our background is done. So whatever else I do to it, I'm going to do to it, in the booklet form. So I'm going to let this dry real good, and then I'll come back and show you the booklet form. Okay, I had forgotten when I was doing the last segment that I was going to put some signatures in this. So this is really like a journal cover and signature covers, rather than being something I'm going to actually, well, I don't know. When I do the journal, work in the journal, or whoever I give it to work in, they might add some more art on these pages. But for now, I'm going to call this done as a project, except for putting it together into journal form. And I found some ledger sheet that I'm going to use as my pages, but I'm going to have to trim them down. And then I'm going to sew them in. I'm going to sew a little signature right here and a little signature right here before I shut the book. I mean, before I fold it up and do the gluing and all of that. And once I get it back in booklet form, then I'm going to add this signature, and that way this will connect to this and hold it shut. And I can also put a loop or ties. I'm actually probably going to do ties on the outside so you can tie it shut. I decided to separate these four different kinds of DMC floss, embroidery floss, and then put them back together so that I have one of each kind or two of each kind. And I'm going to sew them, all the signatures in with this combination. So I'm gonna pause again, and I'm going to cut these down, and I'm going to fix these so I can use them, and then I'll come back and show you how I do that. Okay, I decided that I just wanted to go ahead and use one strand of all of this. Two of them are thinner than the other two, and I just decided to do the whole thing. I think it'll be pretty. But that'll be hard to get through the eye of the needle, so I'm going to use this. It's a floss threader. I don't know if you can even see that. It's a floss threader that you use for if you have a bridge or if you have braces to thread your floss through your appliances. And so I'm just going to use that to thread these through this needle. Works really well. If you don't have any of those, I'd suggest you go get them because you can use, they're so small, they'll go through pretty small needles. Okay, so I've got that ready. And then this is the signature that I'm going to do for the first page. And here's my pokey tool and my phone book. I don't know if you've seen people use phone books, but it's a great tool to use because it keeps your pages in the crease. You know, your holes, when you're poking holes, it keeps them in the crease, which is really cool. So I'm going to poke a hole here, and then I'm going to poke one up here. I'm not worrying about measuring. Measuring's not as important as, you know, as some people might think it is. At least to me, it's not. Oh, no, I'm going to go through here. No, I want it to be hidden. Trying to remember. Okay. Let's go. And then I lost my hole here. There we go. Pull it through from under here. And then I'm going to go back down through this hole. But those are not easy to see. Oh, there it is. I'm just doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, so not anything fancy. Then I'm going to go back in this hole, but on the other side of that, and come out. Okay. Now then, I'm just going to tie this. Somehow I got it caught, messed it up a little bit. Let's see if we can fix that. I don't know if we can. There we go. All right, and I'm just going to tie a knot in this. And I don't want that to move. So where did I put that? Got my freight check. So I could put a little on that knot and keep it from moving. But now I don't know where I put it. Okay, well, I'll do that in a minute. Right now, I'm not going to worry about the freight check because I'm just going to get this done here. Okay, now then, I'll show you kind of what it's, ooh, almost dropped my needle, what it'll be like. Uh-oh. Now that one thing I didn't think about is that these will be fatter now, and so the pages are going to line up even less. So see, maybe you need to learn from me. Maybe this is not a good plan. Oh dear. But I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway because I want to know if it will work or not. So, here's another one. Scoot it down a little bit. I think I need to put my thread on my needle before I do that, so I'll be ready. Otherwise, I might end up losing my holes. Okay. Okay. Try to straighten those up where they're even. No, I want to do it the other way. Okay. Alrighty. There's that. I'm going to tie a knot in it. Okay. Now let's see again how much we're messing it up by doing this. Okay. I'm hoping that when I tie this one down, that will make it go back into better position. We'll see. We will see, because now I'm going to do this one right here. And it's going to be harder to do, but I need to get my needle threaded. I made this one a lot longer because I'm going to use it for the tie too. Well, lost my needle. Oh, and that was the perfect size needle. I don't want to lose it. Here's this. Let's go ahead and stick that through. Okay. So I've got little lines everywhere. I can't. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to turn pages. So maybe it'll be. Let's. Oh, I forgot to thread this first. It's going to have to go through a lot more paper this time. So we'll see if we can find those holes again. There we go. Now let's see if that leaves enough to tie. Yeah, I think it does. Okay. Go down through there. Back in here. Oops. Let's see if we can. Okay. Don't want to change that too much. Let's go a little bit, pull a little bit back out. All right, that's not going to work very easily. There we go. Okay. Now back out through the center. Okay. I'm hoping that will pull that really tight. Let's see if it'll shut. Yep, we're definitely gonna have to tie it shut. But it is better than it was before we did the center one. May have to adjust the cover here a little bit. Okay. And now I've got to glue or do some tape right here and right here. So I'll still have my pockets, but these will be shut. So let's do that real quick and this project will be done until I decide what I'm going to do with it. And then either me or someone else will do maybe a little more decorating and play in it. Okay, let's see. Score tape. Okay, let's put this. Right there. Let's do it from here. Okay. This kind of it's very puffy. Well, that may not be a pocket we want to use because it's really open. Things will fall out pretty easy. Okay, maybe this wasn't as good a plan as I thought. Oh, but I'm going to finish it anyway because I might accidentally do something with it. I might figure out a way to unpuffy the okay. Okay. It's really just here that it's messed up. I think I'm going to take that off. flatten it down and then put it back. We'll see if that'll work. Probably should have added another piece of the tape, but that is better. Okay. And then I'll bring this around here. There we go. There's my little zine journal. Definitely not perfect, but a lot of fun to make. I think for my project tomorrow, I'm going to make some wide tags to go in here and here, and some long tags to go in here and here. And that'll be my project for tomorrow. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it was inspiring you to do something, and maybe you won't have as, maybe you'll have a smarter way of doing it than I did, so that you won't have it be so poofy, but I'm happy with it. God bless you, and you have a great day.